All right, welcome everyone to Pulse Overtime. I am Brendan Bartic. Always a pleasure to see you again. And of course, I'm joined by my friend and business partner, Anna McKeel. Say hi, Anna.
Hello, everyone.
Excellent. So, we're excited today for everyone. This is the 30 minutes that we take to answer any of your questions about how you can grow or build your real estate empire in real time, right? So, we live stream this. You can jump on, put the comments in, we'll answer them real time. Second, is where we already have a lot of questions from our Pulse Power session. So, Pulse is our program where we're helping agents across the nation create a rhythm of success and a consistent program of high accountability mixed with games, contests, community, and of course, high level training and education so that they can take their business to the next level. And this week we had a ton, right? So we were talking about commitments and committing to your social media program for this year. And we started the session asking a very simple question on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high. How consistent are you with your social media? Meaning you're posting every day, you're posting every other day, you have a schedule, or is it, hey, I finally went to go see Britney Spears and I'm posting me and my family at Britney Spears, right? And it's about as random as you get. So there's no consistency to building it for the business. And the resounding truth we found in is that most of the scores came in at a 1, 2, or 3 out of 10, which is
Yep.
I think on par for all of us, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
But here's the
so
other
yeah.
interesting part about that question is we ask everyone on a scale of 1 to 10, how would they rank themselves in consistently posting? And yet when we ask them, how often are you consuming content? Everyone raised their hand.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone's
everyone
like,
is
yeah, I mean, I
consuming it, but no one's making it, right?
right.
Yeah. So
Right.
that's the challenge. Sorry, I was getting some of my technical things there sorted out. Now I'm good to go. All right. So yeah, so let's then jump in. Let's talk about some of the questions that we received as people are still jumping on to join us. So let's start with one of the first questions. What did we hear, Anna, that we need to resolve?
Yeah, I think one of the big things and one of the barriers to entry when we talk about consistently posting is this idea of should I be posting on my personal Facebook or Instagram page, or do I need to create a professional page for my real estate business and really put my energy into that? So let's kind of dive into that pros and cons of both.
Yeah, I'm going to just speak to it quickly because I don't think it should be much of a decision. You are in the business of building relationships. So if I want to build relationships, the place that I build relationships, especially on Facebook, is with my friends and whatever word that you want to utilize to represent what friends means. So my friends want to build a relationship with me through personal interactions, not through me advertising through my Facebook page. Facebook page is your billboard on social media saying, here's what I am, here's what I do. But we know that people make decisions to buy or sell based upon whether I like you, love you, or want to be in business with you, and do I trust you. And so, in order to do that, I'm going to do a lot of the interactions on my personal account, and I'm not gonna like the picture of you and your family at Legoland through my business page. I'm gonna like and comment from me as a person, going, "Oh my gosh, we went to Legoland last year. You guys look like you had so much fun." Emoji, emoji, emoji. Then that person that receives that comment goes, "Wow, Brennan's a nice human being. And oh, yeah, I forgot he's also a real estate agent. And when we get back from Legoland, we need to put our house on the market. I should reach out to him."
Right.
Does that help make sense? Like, you're not going to do that through a Facebook page.
Hmm. Right. And that kind of leads into the next question. So we've decided that we're going to do more of a personal approach. We are the business. Now, oftentimes we delivered 365 days of social media content to our Pulse community for being in our coaching program so that we could take away the friction of having to build the content. Then the second question comes out, which is on a 7-day period in a week, how many of those posts should be business related versus how many should be personal related, what I had for lunch, me taking my dog for a walk. Let's talk about that ratio.
Yeah, so again, I want everyone to think about this the same way that you think about building any relationship, right? It's got to be about them more than it has to be about you. And if I sat here and only talked to my significant other about real estate my entire life, or even in the course of one day, would I really stay in relationship very long? No, or I wouldn't stay in that relationship very long. So I want to think about it in this aspect. Some of you are getting over analytics or over analyzing this into the aspect of going, some of you aren't posting enough at all, period. So even if you just posted one real estate post a day, you would be 1,000 times better than what you're doing now. If you're asking what that ratio should be as you move forward, the stats say that it should be 3 personal, 1 business, right? 3 to 4 is what they say. I think 3 is probably the right number, but 3 personal, 1 business. And I think we're getting caught up in what personal means, right? Personal can mean, I love hot green tea, right? Who else out there loves hot green tea versus coffee? That's a 2 second post that you could do in 2 seconds, done, right? Just top of mind to do those things. But, I think where people get affected by this is when they post something real estate related, they don't get a lot of likes and comments and feedback because you shouldn't, right? Remember, this is like you being at the barbecue. Remember, Facebook is the barbecue. So just think about it like this. Facebook is this huge barbecue. If you walked up to everybody at the barbecue and was like, hey, you know how the market's doing? Like everyone would think you're the biggest dork at the barbecue, right? So instead you walk up and you go, hey, how's it going? How you doing? Oh, good. You do Ford, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. That's why Ford exists. Think about Ford for Facebook. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. So when we're looking at that as a mindset guide, it's not just I'm here to sell because then no one will like you. It's going, I want you to like me and I want you to know a little bit about who I am, but I also want to portray myself as a professional real estate person, right? So when you think about doing something in real estate, you think about me without, and please write this down if you're listening, I need to educate the market, right? Educate them, not sell them. Some of us are trying to sell, and I see posts all the time. If you're looking for the best Valentine's Day gift you can give me your real estate business. Let's just think about that post for a second. What do you think, Ann? Is that an okay post?
I get where they're trying to go with it. I really do. But like you said, it's a lot of selling. What's in it for me as the end user? You've just created a post about how I can serve you rather than the other way around, which is as a real estate agent, how can I serve you as my community? That would be my
Well
opinion.
said.
What about you?
Well said. There's nothing wrong with it, but think about perception. Sometimes we see these things, we're like, oh, cute, I should post that because I saw so and so post it. Just remember, if you look thirsty, right? If you look thirsty, you're that person that's just going, oh my gosh, I need business, I need business, I need business. Do I want to work with you? No. I want to work with the person that looks like they're trying to come from a place of abundance, that they're trying to educate, that they're trying to help the community, that they're trying to help others, right? So just try to be mindful. And I'm guilty. I probably have stupid posts. I used to talk about this all the time, Anna. It was so funny. Oh my gosh. I was just at dinner. Here's my favorite post. This is how messed up I was when I was early in my real estate career. And you can still find this on my social media. And I would post, I would go to the bank, the bank where you have to like pull into the underground parking and like, you take the little tube and you stick it in there, not underground, but underneath the thing. And I
Right.
was crushing so many deals and they weren't at all dealt with relationships. I was doing hardcore outbound prospecting, 8, 10 hours a day, expireds. And I would go to the bank and I would fan out all the commission checks that I had. And I would take a picture of it. This is how bad I was. Again, I was young, I was making a lot of money, and I was super douchey. super douchey. And I would fan out all the checks. I wouldn't show like the address or the click because it would just have like the number. You can find this on my social media. And I would post something like, getting paid. I love real estate. Thanks to all my clients for making this possible. And I still thought I was like trying to be nice to my clients. And I'm like, but that's how I looked at it because I was so happy for me. It was so, I'd come from nothing. I had no money to my name. To be able to deposit, $63,000 through this little tube. I used to remember, you can see the little lady through the glass, and I would
Oh
make her
yeah.
tell me this is how embarrassed I am. I mean, I was dead broke, right, before all this, and I was like, they would tell you she would give you the deposit slip, and I'd be like, can you tell me how much the deposit was for? Just because I wanted to have her hear the other bank tellers hear how much money it was because I thought it was the most money on earth. And she would be like, I'm sorry, sir, what? I mean, can you just tell me audibly, like, what was the amount? She'd be like, 64,000. That's right, baby. I just deposited $64,000 on a Friday. And I was obviously disturbed, right? Not disturbed, but I had to learn. So I'm telling this not from a story of,
Don't
I'm
do.
telling, yeah, precaution, right? Don't do what I did because I probably had so many people being like, what a goof and what a loser. So that's what we mean by that is
Right.
don't post things that are not going to represent you. Now, I get the other question a lot, Anna, that I think we have to address with this. And we're not saying Anna, me and you are not social media experts. We just research a ton and we've learned a lot on the way, but we're still nowhere near it. But the question I get a lot too is we have people post certain things about obviously politics and religion and the war in Israel and all of the things that are dramatic about this world right now. You have to remember, and this goes back to the book we're reading this month right now. Our February book club is Dale Carnegie's How to Influence Friends. What is it again?
How to win friends and influence people.
How to Win Friends and Influence People. And he talks about this. No one wants to hear about your views, right? They just don't, especially if you're in a sales role. Now, if you want to get into an argument at Thanksgiving dinner with your cousin Joey, knock yourself out. But if you're trying to build a massive real estate business, do you really need to send that post about how you're feeling at that current moment? That's where you got to make some decisions. And we're all guilty of it, right? We're all thinking about this, but we live in a very different planet now. And if you're utilizing your personal social media to build relationships, people catch themselves and they go, well, I want people to know that I believe in this because those are the people I want to do business with. Even those people might change their mind. And now they're going to be against what you're saying and all of this. So I say it all the time on social media. We want to be that person that you want to be cuddly, lovable, friendly, educational. You want to be, I hate to say it, you want to be Pottery Barn. You want to be neutral and you want to smell good and you want everybody to come to your store whether they need something or not. That's it. We do not want to be the place where you get your nose pierced, right? That's a
Hot
very
topic.
small hot topic. Yeah, we don't want to be hot topic. I'm sure they crush it. I don't know if they still do or Spencer's, but we don't want to be that. We want to be neutral and warm and welcoming to as many people as possible so we can build those deep relationships. So,
I want to I want to recap a couple of things. I think one of the biggest pro tips that we talked about in this segment up to this point is framing your social media around the Ford acronym. I think that's super powerful. It gives you a little bit of framework. It comes from value and it makes it friendly and accessible for everyone to engage. The other thing I want to kind of tie a bow on that you talked about is this idea of people getting in their heads about likes. I want our listeners to flip that on their heads, and your goal should be how many comments and likes am I giving to other people rather than how many likes am I getting. Change the
mm,
paradigm. You're going to get engagement when you engage with other people. The goal should be I've commented genuinely and liked 20 posts from the people in my world before I even start going down the dark drain hole of, oh my gosh, I didn't get enough likes. No one commented on my post. Stop making it about you. Go after other people, make them feel special, make them feel seen and heard, and the business is going to come back to you tenfold.
yeah, I love that. I mean, I think And that's hard to do, right? Because we want everyone to see us. We want everyone we want to
Validate.
feel them. Yeah, we want that's a great word, right? We want validation. We want everyone to look at us and say, "Hey, we're making it. I got checks about the deposit. I've done it. I made it. I'm on vacation. I'm doing all of this." Right? So yeah, I think it's hard. We all struggle with it. That's why, as a real estate community and as Pulse Nation, we just have to discuss these things. And I've actually had people send me posts, and they'll be like, "Anna, do you think this is appropriate for me to post?" And I'll be like, "Not really," or depends on what your goal is for why you're trying to do this. And then the other piece of this too is stop overthinking it, right? We just gotta post some stuff. We gotta let people know that we exist so that we can be a billboard in the virtual world to get, activity to our business, right? And our world, right? Not only our business, but for our charities, for everything else. And so, and on that note, I want to make one thing very apparent as well, too, is we had a goal this week to make sure that we had a challenge for people posting and creating content. It's not just posting, it's creating valuable content. So this week we provided a resource in our Pulse Vault that gives them 365 different options to choose that are related to a certain time of the month, certain day of the week, that really helps them go right. Like if it's Groundhog's Day, I don't know if there's a Groundhog's Day post, but that's probably the worst example that I could have picked. I don't know what made me think of Groundhog's Day, but
All the
right.
holidays.
I think it's underserved. I think it's a great holiday. I always am curious to see if he saw a shadow or not. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I on that.
but but there's something relatable that's in real time that you can utilize. But what we discovered today is most of this is kept in this program called Canva. And some of us are like, yeah, no, duh, Canva, I use it all the time. I made the honest statement, right? And we had to battle this out because I'm old and I used PowerPoint forever. And so everyone on my team was like, you have to learn how to use Canva because you're killing us having to transfer all of these presentations into PowerPoint because that's how you learned back in the 80s, right? So it wasn't the 80s, it was the 90s. But um, actually, it was the
Not
2000s.
wrong,
Actually,
but you're not
yeah,
wrong.
it was the 2000s. I don't think they had PowerPoint in the 90s. I don't know. But
Mm.
so in looking at all of that, right, I think our adoption of certain tools in this business as real estate professionals matters. You know what I mean? And if we're not going to use Chat GPT, Canva, content creation, then we're in trouble, right? Is that how you feel?
Yeah, and I also just think it's like any skill. People look at the content that we're producing and they think to themselves, "Oh, well, Brendan must have got training on this, or Anna must have a degree in Canva or graphic design." Here's the secret, and I'm going to give it all away. We just learned on weekends, at nights after we were done with our actual day job, and we got good at it. It's like a skill. If we want to be good at basketball, I have to show up to the court and put in 50 free throws. Canva is no different. I There is nothing about me being unique or special or Brendan. I mean, 2023 was a hit because Brendan learned Canva. And if Brendan can do it, I guarantee you can do it.
Right. This
So
session,
I
this session you're on right now, you see us in these two windows and it says overtime and pulse. No one created that for us. I had to figure out and take several hours to learn how to do this so I could figure out how to live stream a session, how to do all of this. And that's the separation that we're talking about nowadays, right, Anna, where it's just going, you've got to step your game up. Is your listing presentation the same as it was 10 years ago? Then what needs to change there? Is your buyer consultation evolved? Is all of these things of how you're interacting, even your direct mail, whether it's just use of QR codes or golden letters or being very specific on how you're aggregating data. I don't want it to overwhelm people, but we've got to add skill sets to our toolbox so that we can be the best.
And detach yourself from the outcome. Brendan was talking about his douche moment in 2004 with all of these dollar bills. Guess what? The moment, if you look back on one of the first graphics that we ever built, I hope you never find it because it's that embarrassing. But now it's also a point of pride for us of going, look how far we came. And the only difference in the gap of the first graphic we ever built versus the graphics we build today was just chipping away at the skill, learning from YouTube, taking advice from others, adapting concepts that we saw and go, ooh, we like that. Can we redo it? So get out of your head, detach yourself from the outcome. There's no such thing as a perfect graphic. I promise you, no matter how hard you try, there's always someone doing it better, but you've got to show up and put in the work and it will come back to you.
Right. And then Anna, so the other big piece that we talked a lot about today is deciding on which platform is the best for you. Should you try to be a jack of all trades and on three or four of them? Should you be a master of one? And we did the research, right? We can't tell you what to do. We can't tell you what's perfect, but we know some simple facts. Facebook is the biggest. It is the biggest player. It has the longest history. So you got to think about that. All of these new ones, and I know you saw some real estate course come across on your Facebook probably that says make $1 million through TikTok. Yeah, I'm sure that's the case. There's a whole backstory with how to do all of that. But Facebook is where people go and have gone for a long time to see what their friends are up to. Then, of course, Facebook owns Instagram, right? So it's not like that's not its own source. And now they're creating threads, which is basically to replace Twitter in the most part, right? And it's creating their own Twitter feed. So I don't think Zuckerberg's sitting there thinking about, you know what, I really hope these other platforms beat us. He's going, we have the market. We're the third largest website behind Google and YouTube, right? If we're the third most hit website on the planet, then if it's me, until I've developed my Facebook play, I'm probably not going to try to spend so much time on the others. Now, I know people love TikTok. I get it. I'm with it. I understand it. I'm so it's super entertaining. It's super all of this. But just think about it. If that's what you're going to do and set out to do, then knock it out and then that's what you're committing to. But TikTok, as far as groups go, are you going to be able to build a group, a VIP group for your past clients just inside TikTok? Are you going to be able to live stream and do a live buyer or seller seminar inside TikTok right now? Maybe yes, maybe no. I'm not saying it's not possible, but just think about the different tools for what they represent and the community that you're trying to build with them. And remember, Anna said it earlier, it's not just about what gets you the most likes and nods. Just because TikTok gives you more dopamine because you get more, views or whatever, because again, you're doing the waltz or some fun shuffle, or you're, watching Britney Spears, juggle knives. I don't know, right? But that's entertainment. Remember, Facebook, we're utilizing to build relationships versus entertaining. Does that make sense, Anna, what I'm saying?
I'll tell a personal story. So I'm a big fan of Instagram. I spend a lot of time on Instagram. It's my platform of choice. And I thought, you know what? I'm okay to just kind of let Facebook ride into the sunset, right? It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. And I started looking at the analytics again, and I was leaving a lot of my people on Facebook without a like, without a comment, without that engagement from my side. And so I've sort of re-upped my commitment to get back into my Facebook community, because as much as you might prefer Instagram or TikTok, there's a lot of people just waiting for you to engage with them on Facebook. Take the opportunity where everyone is and have been for a much longer time than any of these other platforms.
Right. Yeah, there's always going to be a new fun way of doing things, and we're not saying don't explore those, but as we said, hit the free throws before the 360 dunk. So that's a big piece. Then we also talked a lot about today, and we got a lot of questions on this. Is it better to post reels, stories, post on my grid? Should I use animations? What should I do?
Right.
All of this. Here's the easiest way. We are not social media experts. You have the number one tool on earth at your disposal, which is YouTube, to learn everything you want about a specific subject. What I try to think about the most is just common sense. We were talking a lot about posting to your grid so that you can build a reservoir and a history of information. When I go and I get friend requested, right? And I might be weird. I go and look at their profile, and then I scroll down and try to see how many posts that they've done on their post, right? I look at this because I go, is this somebody that's active on social media that's probably ever going to have, if I don't know them, right? That's going to have any impact on my world or my business or sharing something that I post. If they don't, then I go, yeah, no, thank you, right? Immediately, it's a no for me. If I come to their page and I don't know what they do in 2 seconds, it's a no for me, right? So we got to make sure that we're checking ourselves. Like, do people know that you're a real estate agent the second they look at your profile in 2 seconds, right? Does that come across apparent? When they look at your thread, does it look like this is somebody of value? Or am I going to see a whole bunch of things about you love, I can't say anything anymore because I'll offend anybody, but you doing something that's aggressive compared to what the world would not think is aggressive. So think about, I don't want to say anything because people get mad at me, but you know what I mean? Like, I go into people's streams real quick, and the first thing you see is something with hatred. I don't know a better way to say it, of some form or fashion. And I'm going, ooh, that looks like somebody I don't want to be in my world. Next, right? In 2 seconds. So what your history on your thread, on your grid, if you will, says about you, it matters. And some of us have to go and do an audit and clean that up, right? If I have my cash money records, things on there, maybe I need to take that down if somebody goes real deep on me. But that was 10 years ago, however long it was ago, right? But if just 2 weeks ago I was doing a cake stand and that's on my grid because I got whacked out at a Super Bowl party, or I was at the waste management golf tournament, apparently where everyone did, then maybe I want to take that down. Maybe that's not the best representation of me and being a professional real estate person that cares about helping people build wealth through real estate. Those are the
Right.
hard parts that we have to come to terms with if we really want to do this at a high level.
And I think just to kind of put a bow on that, when people are asking, oh, should I do a video? Should I do just a static post? At the end of the day, show up first, and then we can refine how you're delivering the content. As much as it's like, oh, I'll just do a video. We know that there are things about how the camera and how the lighting. I'm not saying it's not doable, but you're trying to up level when you don't even have the consistency built yet. So consistently show up, then we can start being ninja level with video and captions and all of these kind of things. But you're going to stop yourself before you even start because you're trying to be the coolest, baddest mama jamma. I don't know why there's a thumbs up, but I love it. Um, so show up consistently first. Don't overthink whether it should be a static post or a video. Unless you're producing content 20 times a month, a minimum, you really shouldn't even be in the conversation about how you up level with video.
Yeah, well said. And to put that into the last piece here that I really hope everyone takes away, none of this should even be thought about until you've done your two lead measures that create the most business for you. I heard yesterday on our real estate team, because we're doing a lot with golden letters and sending out a bunch of golden letters. Well, here's the disease that happens. I want to do golden letters. So what am I going to do? I'm going to come in at 9 o'clock and start stuffing envelopes because that makes me feel like I have a job instead of being dedicated to our lead generation time or lead follow-up time, where from the hours of, depending on what time you start, 7:30 to 11 a.m., I should be doing nothing but talking to people on the phone, creating excitement in business. No appointments, no stuffing of envelopes, no Facebook posts, no TikToks, no anything. And yet I see agent after agent come in and just start going straight to this other stuff. Do you think that you're going to get a deal from posting a post on Facebook today? No, you are absolutely wrong. Now, in the afternoon, when you have no appointments and you've done your legion and you've hit your conversation target for the day, then you get the earn the right to go ahead and do that. That's why we use our Pulse First Things First document, mine is right over here, I can't reach it without getting out of the frame, but right, that's why we use it, is to make sure we identify we need to have conversations, ambassadors that love us, like us, and are going to help us, grow our business. And then I get the right to do the rest of this stuff, not in reverse. I just don't want to see everyone leave today and go spend 2 hours trying to create a post tomorrow morning instead of hitting their conversation goal. That's where you'll really get into trouble.
And I think to add to that, really you should be building your content in batches. So if you're lead genning 5 days a week, social media shouldn't even be on your calendar. That's what you do on Saturday morning when you're planning out the next 7 days worth of content. Because I guarantee building content on a daily basis is a challenge because it's creative. You can't get interrupted. You want to make sure that the caption works well with the image. And so I highly recommend blocking out 2 hours on a Saturday morning or whenever it's going to work. Maybe it's late at night after you put the kids to bed, but build the content in batches so that it maintains a high level calendar for the things that are really important, which are conversations and ambassadors.
Well said. Yeah. So thank you for everyone that joined us here on the live stream. Also, of course, these recordings are available on our YouTube channel at Brendan Bartic Real Estate Coaching. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do so, because you're going to get all of the latest and greatest videos and strategies and techniques that elite agents across the country are utilizing. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see in the link below, if you want to see what all the craze is about and join the Pulse Nation and see why so many other agents and teams and PC coaches and just basically everyone are having so much success, then come check us out. We have a free download with all of our tools and resources, and we're always happy to assist. So, Anna, thank you so much for your time today. Everyone, have an excellent week, and we'll see you right here next week in our Facebook group, 11:30 Mountain Standard Time for Pulse Overtime. Take care.